The winter season of 2021 is almost over, and some of us are finally starting to see the first shiny rays from our dear sun. And to be honest, everyone is tired of the cold weather. At least I am tired of it. But anyways, the winter season was filled with a lot of anime sequels from shows that were pretty good, and what not better time to check out what anime shows awaits us for this spring season and give you guys my recommendations for this upcoming season. Looking at the anime list, there's a lot of new shows I don't know a whole lot, but I'm curious nonetheless, since some of the premises and summaries do seem to be my cup of tea. Of course, if we compare it to this winter season, there are nowhere near as many well-known anime titles with big sequels or anything. But the first thing I realized is that there are a lot of comedy / romance / slice of life anime shows airing this season, so I'm kind of interested to know if they are worth to watch or not. As per usual, these recommendations are purely my own. It is basically a list of shows that I will be watching, hence the reason I'm recommending them. So if you disagree with anything, or if I missed any shows you believe are worth mentioning, please provide me your opinions in the comments below. Also, if you like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel, as you are lucky enough to have a content creator such as myself uploading on a weekly basis everything related to anime, whether it be reviews, top lists, discussions, and much more. So, with that out of the way, let's begin with our anime recommendations for the spring season of 2021. So to start off the list, we have the 5th season of My Hero Academia. I mean, it is obvious I would watch it, because, well, it's My Hero Academia and the anime itself is very good overall. Needless to say, I have to confess I'm struggling to appreciate this anime space overall. I never read the manga, so I don't really know how much there's left to adapt, or if there's new volumes coming out or not. But my question would be, is this an extensive story that will take hundreds of chapters to reach a proper conclusion? Because the anime is taking a bit too long to have a proper plot development, and I think the story has an overall low pace, and I have the feeling that nothing really is going on despite being a good anime. But regardless, I'll be watching this season as I'm interested to know what surprises awaits us. These next two, I think many people will watch them for sure, and I'm talking about the final season of Fruits Basket and Zombieland Saga. When it comes to Fruits Basket, I mean, I really enjoyed this new adaptation since it came out, so there's not much to say about it. As for Zombieland Saga, well, I really did enjoy it, and I think this sequel will be equally as cool. It is one of the few anime centered on the music theme that I really enjoy overall. If you guys have not seen the first season, go check it out, honestly. It is funny, wholesome, and the characters are very cute and likable, and I think it will be an interesting experience overall. As for new anime coming out, Irijanaide Nagotoro-san is definitely a must for me, and you know how much I like my slice of life shows. In particular, we know that Nagatoro is a bully to her senpai, who's this timid young dude, especially around girls, and she will annoy him and kind of manipulate him to do her bidding, and with time they do become closer, mainly through the comedic scenes. For some reason I do like her smirk in the trailer whenever she pisses him off, and I believe we're dealing with a strong personality, with a touch of craziness in the mix, so I'm curious to see what this anime will bring us. Next we have Mairimashita Iruma-Kun, the 2nd season. Okay, so I don't believe many people enjoyed the first season, simply because of its jokes and comedy scenes being a bit too childish, but hear me out. The story is about to get even more interesting, with the whole evil cycle because of Iruma's evil side, as we saw in the last episode of the first season. One thing I did enjoy about this anime is the way they explore, the side of demons and how they live as a society. The stereotypical belief that demons are, evil is obviously a joke, as in this anime most of them are really nice in general, and caricaturizing their overly nice behavior with a lot of comedy is for me the main drive of this show. And in this season I believe we are exploring a bit more about Iruma's story and how he reacts to his evil cycle and how it will affect his future. Overall, it is an interesting and funny anime, and I'm pretty excited for its 2nd season. The next anime on our list is titled I Shaved and I Brought a High School Girl Home. Man, this title seems to be the story of a guy that wakes up after a drunken night, honestly. So this show is adapted from a light novel series, and I've never heard of it, to be honest, but the synopsis is very interesting nonetheless. It is labeled as a drama/romance story, but basically we're talking about a full-grown adult that was rejected by his co-worker, and after getting drunk to get over his rejection, he goes home and finds a high school girl that attempts to seduce him. This girl by the name of Sayu has been running away from Hokkaido, where she used to trade sexual favors for a roof. And Yoshida, well, aka the male protagonist, well, he feels sorry for her and gives her a place to stay, and instead of trading sex, well, he gives her housework to do in exchange. Now, like I said, I don't know this story, but to me, my first reaction to the synopsis was like, wait, are we talking about literally a relationship between an adult and an underage high schooler? Is that it? But then I reread the synopsis and I believe it seemed to be, more about a friendship type of relationship, more than anything. It has to be, right? Yoshida is heartbroken, and maybe this girl will help regain a bit of his confidence, giving him some advice on how to behave around women and maybe help him out. And he might do the same thing for her, and we get to know more about her own struggles and whatnot. I don't know, I think friendship is the main relationship type in this story, and I hope it is, since the synopsis really is interesting as we get to see how their relationship unfolds. Hence the reason I would recommend this anime, especially for slice of life fans out there. Next we have 86. Now, the reason I'm looking forward to this anime is the synopsis itself that looks really interesting. But needless to say, I've talked with some people that read the manga, and apparently it is a very deep story about two main characters who are part of an abandoned group called 86 that are stripped from their human rights and sent to battle, as there are a lot of emotional moments of sad and struggle for these characters. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it since, well, despite being a mecha, it's not that I don't really like, but it's not my cup of tea either. It kind of reminds me of Code Geass or Neo Genesis for some reason, and we know that those two examples are masterpieces of their own. So who knows, we might be surprised. But if you are a manga reader, well, give me your opinion about the story in the comments below. I'm really curious to see if your view on this story really matches the opinions I've heard from other people. So yeah, really curious to see how this anime will present itself, hence the reason I also recommend it. The next anime show I'm really excited for is Combatants Will Be Dispatched. The first two things that caught my full attention were the creator of this story, which is the same person who created Konosuba, which I'm a huge fan of, and the second thing was the studio responsible, which is GC Staff. And we all know their repertoire of great animation shows, so yeah. Honestly, the trailer screams comedy from start to finish, and I believe the chemistry between, the blonde young girl called Alice and Roku looks really promising as they venture into what seems to be an interstellar conquest. My fate is set to the fact that it is made by the same creator of Konosuba, and according to some manga readers, the story is hilarious nonetheless. So yeah, I'm eager to see what this show has to offer. Next, one of the anime shows I'm really excited for, and I have really high expectations, and that is Shadow's House. Finally, an anime where I read the manga and I can safely say this story is fucking fantastic. Just a reminder, this is a spoiler-free video, so I won't be covering anything related to plot or characters, nothing of that, but the characters are for me the best aspect of this story. The amount of depth that is given to them and how the story presents itself with small tricks that are played around the mystery of the house where the story is centered on, it is brilliantly executed. Plus, I'm so happy that one of the best anime studios is animating it, which is obviously Cloverworks, so I have huge hopes for this anime to be a success. I just hope they don't ruin it when portraying some of the mental aspects that are explored because honestly it is fundamental for the immersion. But other than that, this anime is probably the biggest recommendation I can give you all, and if you have not read the manga, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Well, at least for the manga. I just hope the anime just matches the quality of the manga. So yeah, I have high expectations for it, and I totally recommend for you guys, if not for the story. So yeah, pretty hyped for it. As for the next anime show on our list, we have Jouran, the Princess of Snow and Blood. We're talking about an original anime which is being animated by a studio called Back and Record, and I think they are pretty new to animation in general. But judging by the promotional video, man, the animation is quite consistent, to be honest. It is looking very good, but let's take a good look at the synopsis. Set in alternate history Japan in 1931 and the 64th year of the Meiji era, the Tokugawa shogunate was never abolished and Emperor Meiji was never restored to power. The anime will follow the activities of NU, an organization of shogunate's executioners who enforce the government. The country has developed its own energy source, the Dragon Vein, and has achieved a unique development in which science and the Hirou period are mixed. However, behind the glamorous city, the dissident organization Kuchinawa strives to overthrow the administration, while the new of the Tokugawa regime, who was entrusted with its extermination, are in conflict. Sawa Yukimura, whose family was killed when she was young, continues to search for Janome, the executioner of the new. Okay, so for some reason, and this is just the first impression I got from the synopsis, is that I'm sensing a lot of vibes with a mix of Golden Kamui and Noragami. With the whole stuff about, the mysterious powers emerging and whatnot, with demons and beasts, with a mix of historical events that unfold. Also, by the looks of it, the main character, which is the black-haired samurai woman, seems to be a total badass, so I'm curious to see what this story can bring to the table. Last on our list, we have Otaku. Now, we're talking about an original beastly anime which looks to have great potential. After watching anime shows like Dorohedoro or Beastars, I'm always happy to see other beastly type of shows appearing left and right, as they are usually quite good in general, But let me read the synopsis for you. In a city which should be familiar, there is the feeling of something a little different. Kotokawa is a taxi driver who lives an ordinary life, taxing some quirky customers around. A slightly eccentric stranger who has no relatives nor any relations with other people, Kotokawa's hobby is to listen to rakugo on the radio before going to bed. For the time being, the only people he can consider as friends are his family, Dr. Goruki, and his high school classmate Kakihana. Kawasawa, a college student who wants a bus, Shirakawa, a nurse who's hiding something, comedian group Homo Sapiens who isn't selling well, the city hoodlum Dobu, and the rookie idol group Mystery Kiss. The conversations with these people, which should not have meant much, lead to a girl who disappeared. Okay, right at the start we can clearly understand that is focused on mystery about a certain girl that disappeared in the midst of a bunch of different characters that are introduced. The thing about beastly anime that I quite enjoy in general is that they have caricaturized personalities with extravagant traits, making them unique and very likable from the get-go. Needless to say, each design for every individual looks pretty unique and overall inviting for discovery. I have to say I am curious to see what else the story brings, and with this promotional video it is exciting to see the Japanese sightseeing of what looks to be the metropolitan city of Tokyo, and with those colorful panels as you see in Tokyo, honestly I am really excited for this anime. From the synopsis we can see that multiple characters are introduced almost instantly, and their role doesn't seem to be very important in the beginning, well, except for the taxi driver itself. hence the reason the title for the show is Otaku. So I am curious to see how these characters will play their role and how it will lead to the girl's disappearance overall. I am really excited to see what this anime will bring. So that is it for my recommendations for the spring season of 2021. Don't forget to leave in the comments below the anime shows you are most excited for, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, don't forget to watch your daily dose of anime because it's good for your brain and heart. Take care, and I'll see all my beloved weebs in the next video.